kept hearing, they keep checking, but they don't want to be caught. And listen, this is not random. Before I even got into this energy, before I even settled into the message, I kept feeling this nervous watching energy. Like somebody keeps circling back to you, but they are trying to do it quietly. They do not want to look pressed. They do not want to look curious. They definitely do not want to look obsessed. But they are. Welcome in, chosen ones. This message is for the ones who have been feeling eyes on their energy. Not necessarily in a scary way, but in that strange spiritual way where you know somebody is thinking about you. You can feel it. You can feel when your name is in somebody's mind. You can feel when someone is trying to understand you from a distance. Highest guides, ancestors, and energies of truth protect this message. Let this reading come through clearly, calmly, and only for the people it is meant to reach. Anything confused, jealous, projected, or heavy does not have permission to enter this space. Now, the first card is the Page of Swords reversed, and symbolically, this is someone watching without wisdom. This is someone observing you, but not really understanding what they are seeing. They are trying to study your silence like it is a clue. They are trying to read your energy like it is a text message. But the problem is, you are not giving them the same access anymore. That is what intimidates them. Your High Priestess aura is not loud. It is not chasing. It is not explaining itself. You are not standing in the middle of the room begging to be noticed. You are sitting in your own energy, calm, quiet, and unreadable. And that is making somebody restless. They cannot figure out whether you are done, healing, glowing up, moving on, or already aware of everything they thought they were hiding. And that is the part that scares them. Because deep down, they know you do not need proof to feel the truth. Somebody needs to hear this. Your silence is not empty. Your silence is speaking louder than your words ever did. And they cannot look away. And the reason they cannot look away is because something about your energy has shifted and they do not know where to place you anymore. That is the thing. When somebody is used to reading you through your reactions, your explanations, your emotions, your softness, your availability, and then one day that access is not there anymore, it makes them feel like the whole map changed. They are looking for the old version of you. They are looking for the part of you that would over-explain. The part that would make it easy for them to know where they stood. The part that would answer the silence, fill the space, calm the tension, and make everything feel less uncomfortable. But now, there is a boundary there. And with the Chariot coming through, this is not just silence. This is controlled movement. This is you taking the reins back over your own energy. You are not being dragged by curiosity. You are not being pulled by someone else's confusion. You are not letting their nervous watching decide your direction. You are moving differently now. And that is what they cannot understand. Because the Chariot is not messy movement. It is not panic. It is not running away. It is the energy of somebody who has decided quietly, I know where I am going, and I do not need everybody to understand the route. Somebody needs to hear this. They are not watching because you are doing too much. They are watching because you stopped doing what they expected. You stopped giving little emotional updates through your energy. You stopped leaving. The door cracked open just so they would feel comfortable. You stopped making yourself easy to read for people who never handled your openness with care. And now they feel that difference. They may not know how to say it. They may not even understand why they keep checking, but their spirit knows something changed. Their ego is trying to call it curiosity, but their energy knows it is deeper than that. Because what unsettles them is not just your beauty. It is not just your confidence. It is not just the fact that you look calm. It is the feeling that you already know something they never told you. And that right there is where this High Priestess energy starts to make people nervous. Because you are not confronting them. You are not asking 1,000 questions. You are not pulling up evidence. You are not trying to force some confession out of somebody who already knows what they did, what they felt, or what they tried to hide. You are just quiet. And with the Knight of Cups reversed showing up here, this feels like someone who may have come toward you with emotion, but not enough emotional maturity to hold it properly. This is charm without consistency, feelings without full honesty. A message that wants to be sent, but the pride keeps turning it back around. A heart that feels something, but does not know how to move with integrity. So instead of approaching you directly, they watch. Instead of being honest, they study. Instead of admitting that your energy has touched something in them, they try to act like they are just observing. But listen, the High Priestess does not need someone to say everything out loud. Your spirit picked up on it before your mind had words for it. Your body felt the shift. Your energy knew when something was off. You could feel when somebody's words were soft, but their intentions were tangled. You could feel when somebody was trying to keep 1 foot in your energy and 1 foot in their own comfort zone. And that is what they cannot manipulate anymore. Because when someone relies on control, they need reactions. They need access. They need to know what affects you, what pulls you, what makes you answer, what makes you nervous, what makes you open the door again. But you are not reacting from that place now. You are calmer. You are listening deeper. You are letting people reveal themselves without interrupting the lesson. Somebody needs to hear this. Your calmness is not weakness. It is spiritual authority. It is restraint. It is sacred privacy. It is you choosing not to hand everybody a map to your inner world. And now this person is starting to realize your silence is not just silence. It is a mirror. And what they keep seeing in it is their own guilt, their own confusion, and the obsession they keep trying to deny. And with the Devil reversed coming through, that is exactly the energy. This is somebody trying to pretend they are detached from something they are still tied to. They may be telling themselves, I am just checking. They may be telling themselves, I just wanted to see. They may even be convincing themselves that it does not mean anything if they look at your page, or listen for your name, or ask a question in a way that sounds casual, but really is not casual at all. The energy does not lie. The Devil reversed, symbolically, is when something that had a grip starts losing power. A pattern, a temptation, an attachment, a need to control the narrative. And I feel like this person thought watching you from a distance would make them feel more in control. But it is doing the opposite. Every time they check, they are reminded that you are not chasing them. Every time they circle back, they are met with the fact that you are not explaining your silence. You are not posting for them. You are not performing sadness. You are not leaving obvious clues just to let them know they still have a place in your emotional world, and that makes them feel exposed. Because now the watching says more about them than it says about you. That is the part they did not expect. They thought distance would protect their pride. They thought silence would give them the upper hand. They thought if they did not say anything directly, they could still have access without having to take accountability. But listen, you cannot keep reaching for somebody's energy and pretend there is no attachment there. You cannot keep checking for a reaction and pretend you are not emotionally invested in whether one appears. For some of you, this is someone reading old messages and acting like they are just remembering. For others, this is someone watching your social media quietly, or asking about you through another person, or noticing small energetic signs and wondering if you feel them too. But your calmness gives them nothing to grab onto, and their guilt gets louder in that silence. Their obsession gets louder, because they may have underestimated something very important about you. They thought you would have to leave physically before you were gone. They did not realize you could disappear emotionally first. And that emotional disappearance was not random. It was death reversed, showing up before anybody had the language for it. Because symbolically, death reversed is not always about an ending that happens all at once. Sometimes it is the ending that happens slowly, quietly, underneath the surface, while everybody around you still thinks you are the same. It is the part of you that started letting go before your life even looked different. It is the part of you that stopped reaching, stopped explaining, stopped trying to revive something that kept proving it did not know how to hold you. And that is what this person is feeling now. They are feeling the version of you that is no longer available in the same way. Not because you suddenly became cold, no. You became quiet after being shown enough. There is a difference. Cold is when somebody shuts down to punish. But what I am feeling here is self-preservation. This is your spirit saying, I cannot keep bleeding energy into a place that keeps making me question my own peace. This is you realizing that not every connection deserves another conversation. Not every silence needs to be broken. Not every person who watches you deserves access to the part of you that still feels deeply. And they expected something else. They expected anger. They expected a reaction. They expected you to confront, to beg, to ask why, to chase clarity out of someone who is comfortable keeping things unclear. But instead, they got stillness, and that stillness is louder than the argument they were prepared for. Somebody needs to hear this. Your peace was earned. It was not performed. You did not wake up one day and decide to act unbothered. You went through the confusion. You felt the heaviness. You carried the questions. You sat with the ache until your spirit finally said, enough. And now they are confused because they cannot find the emotional doorway they used to walk through. It is closed. Quietly. Firmly. And for some of you, there is another energy around this situation. Another person. A friend. A mutual connection. Someone on the outside who can sense that this watcher is not as detached as they pretend to be. And that worries them. Because now it is not just you seeing the truth. Other people may be starting to notice what they keep trying to hide. And with judgment reversed coming through, this feels like something that someone does not want to be called out on. Not publicly. Not directly. Not even energetically. Because judgment reversed, symbolically, can be that moment where the truth is rising. But somebody is still trying to pretend they do not hear it. It is the alarm going off inside the spirit, but the ego keeps hitting snooze. It is somebody knowing there is something they need to face, but delaying it, avoiding it, trying to act like everything is normal. But everybody can feel when something is not normal. That is the part. This energy is not just hidden inside them anymore. It is starting to show in small ways. Maybe somebody says your name and they get quiet. Maybe they act distracted when you come up. Maybe they ask one question too many, but try to make it sound casual. Maybe they pretend not to care, but their attention sharpens the moment someone mentions anything connected to you. And people notice that. They may not say it out loud, but they notice. For some of you, there is a friend around them, a mutual connection, someone in their circle who can tell this person is still affected. They can tell there is a charge around your name. They can tell this person is trying too hard to seem unbothered. Because listen, when someone truly does not care, they do not have to perform not caring. They just move. But this person is performing distance. And your High Priestess aura does not have to expose them. That is the power of this energy. You do not have to speak on it. You do not have to prove what you felt. You do not have to tell everybody. See, I knew. The energy exposes itself. The shift exposes itself. Your glow up exposes it too. And I do not mean just how you look. This is not only physical. This is emotional, spiritual, energetic. You carry yourself like somebody who has been through something quietly and came back with a deeper knowing. That is what makes people look twice. And for this watcher, that is what feels intimidating. Because somewhere inside, they are realizing you did not just move on. You became out of reach in a way they never expected. And with the Ace of Swords reversed coming through, this is why that out of reach feeling is hitting them so strongly? Because they do not have clarity. They do not have a clean answer. They do not have the same open line of communication they used to have with you, even if that communication was energetic, even if it was just knowing that they could say one thing, do one small thing, pull one little thread, and somehow your energy would respond. But not now. And being out of reach does not mean you think you are better than anybody. That is not what this is. This is not arrogance. This is not you putting yourself on a pedestal just to make someone feel small. This is your energy no longer being easily pulled. That is different. They cannot provoke you the same way. They cannot confuse you the same way. They cannot use silence against you the same way. Because now you know how to sit inside silence without panicking. You know how to wait. You know how to listen. You know how to let the truth rise without forcing it. And that is very High Priestess. The Ace of Swords reversed can be miscommunication, hidden thoughts, words unsaid, truth delayed. And I feel like this person may still be trying to understand you through old information, old memories, old emotional patterns. The version of you they remember. The version of you who may have been more expressive, more available, more willing to explain the ache in your chest just so there would not be distance between you and them. But those old keys do not open the same door anymore. That is what they are realizing. They may be thinking, what changed? But deep down, they know. They know the shift happened because your spirit stopped accepting confusion as connection. Somebody needs to hear this. Your detachment is magnetic because it is real. You are not pretending not to care. You are caring differently. You are caring from a place that does not abandon yourself to be understood by someone else. And now this person is not just watching what you do. They are watching for proof that somewhere beneath all this calm, you still feel something. And with the King of Wands reversed coming through, this is where the ego starts getting loud. Because this person may not be showing you emotion directly, but they are looking for evidence that their energy still has some kind of effect on you. That is what I am feeling. They are watching for emotional residue, a post that sounds like it could be about them, a song lyric, a mood shift, a delay in your response, a look, a change in your tone, some small little signal that tells them, okay, they still feel me, they still think about me, they are still connected. But you are not making it easy. And that is disturbing something in them. King of Wands, reversed, symbolically, can be confidence that has turned into control. Fire that does not know where to go. Pride that wants attention, but does not want vulnerability. This is someone who may be used to feeling like they can command a room, command attention, command a reaction. But with you, their usual energy is not landing the same way. And listen, that is why they keep checking. Not just because they want to know what you are doing. They want to know if they still matter in the same way. For some of you, they are looking at your silence and trying to interpret it like a message. For some of you, they are watching your glow and wondering who is around you now. For some of you, they are paying attention to whether you seem happy, whether you seem detached, whether you seem like you are waiting, or whether you have really turned your face towards something else, and your calmness gives them nothing solid to hold. That is what is making the obsession grow, because uncertainty feeds the part of them that wants control. If you were angry, they could say, see, they still care. If you were chasing, they could say, I still have access. If you were explaining, they could keep reading your heart like an open book. But you are not, you are still. And that stillness is not empty. It is power returning to its owner. Because the biggest twist here is this. They are not just feeling your distance. They are feeling the absence of energy you already called back. And with strength reversed coming through, that absence is being felt in the nervous system. Not just in the mind, not just in the ego, This is the kind of energy where someone feels restless and does not fully understand why. They may be sitting with their own thoughts and suddenly your name comes up. They may be trying to focus on something else, but their spirit keeps circling back. They may be telling themselves they are fine. They are in control. They are not affected. Something in them feels the space where your energy used to be. Strength reversed, symbolically, can speak to inner instability. The part of someone that looked confident on the outside, but was depending on something unseen to feel steady. And for some of you, your presence was that unseen thing, your softness, your forgiveness, your emotional warmth, your willingness to understand, your ability to make room for feelings they did not even know how to name. But you pulled that light back, not to punish them, to protect yourself. And listen, chosen ones, that matters. Because sometimes people do not realize how much they were feeding from your energy until you stop offering it. They do not realize how much your compassion was calming their chaos. They do not realize how much your attention was making them feel important, grounded, chosen, seen, until it is gone. And now they are watched by their own thoughts. That is what I keep feeling. They are not just watching you. They are being watched by the truth inside themselves, by the memory of how you showed up, by the moments where they could have been honest, but chose pride, by the quiet understanding that you did not lose power by caring. You gained power by choosing peace. May every cord that was pulling on your spirit without permission be loosened. May every heavy thought that is not yours return to its proper place. May your energy come back clean, calm, and whole. And may anything trying to reach you through obsession, control, confusion, or guilt be stopped before it enters your peace. Because your energy is back home now. And the final message coming through is about what you are meant to do with this High Priestess aura now that it belongs fully to you again. And with the Ace of Pentacles reversed closing this out, the message is very clear. Do not reinvest where your spirit already withdrew. That is not punishment. That is wisdom. Because the Ace of Pentacles, symbolically, is about value, energy, time, attention, what you plant, what you feed, what you give weight to. And reversed. This is that moment where your spirit says, I am not putting my sacred energy back into soil that could not grow peace with me. And listen, chosen ones, that is your assignment now. Stay grounded. Stay grounded. Keep your energy sacred. Trust what you already know. You do not have to confront this person just because they are watching. You do not have to explain your silence just because they are uncomfortable with it. You do not have to chase clarity from somebody who is still trying to understand you from a distance instead of meeting you with honesty. Your High Priestess aura does not need to announce itself. It knows. It feels. It observes. And then it moves accordingly. That is why they cannot look away. Because your energy reveals truth without demanding attention. You are not exposing them. Their own spirit is exposing them to themselves. You are not trying to intimidate anybody, but your peace intimidates people who only knew how to connect through confusion, control, or emotional noise. Somebody needs to hear this. Their obsession is not your burden to carry. Let them wonder. Let them sit with what they feel. Let them realize in their own time that access to you was never something to take lightly, because your energy is not a hallway people can keep walking in and out of whenever they feel curious. Your energy is sacred space. And now that it is back home, it becomes protection. It becomes intuition. It becomes forward movement. It becomes the quiet strength that keeps you from abandoning yourself just to be understood. So keep walking. Not loudly. Not bitterly. Not to prove a point. Walk because your spirit is clear. Walk because your peace is real. Walk because what is meant for you will not need to study your silence from a distance. And let them keep looking if they need to. You already know. You walk away in silence and your energy speaks for you.